Bragdeal.
That was really good.
Really, Bragdeal. Awesome. Dan is the owner and founder of BragDeal Inc. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Interactive Arts and Technology, has 13 years of design and online marketing experience, and a 5 out of 5 star review track record across all platforms. Dan underpromises and overdelivers, and his passion is to grow businesses to the next step. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you. All right, so I don't even have to do an introduction anymore. That's great. We're here today to talk about a website, how to convert people that come to your website into an actual paying customer. And I'm going to try to make it as easy to understand as I can. If I get technical, stop me. Oops. If I get technical, stop me, and we'll rewind. So, how does this work? Okay. So what we're going to cover today, first thing is how to get traffic. A lot of people are curious about this topic. Is you have a website running, how do you get people to come to it? Proper website structure. So when you have a website set up, you want to know what is the exact way to capture leads when they come to your site, and then what are the attention grabbing elements that we'll have on the site. We'll talk about email marketing, social media marketing. That's a given for any marketing, online marketing. Understanding analytics, so whether it's Google Analytics or any statistics that you have from your site. And I want you to keep a couple things in mind. When a visitor comes to your site, they're there for a reason. They come to your site because either you are there to help them solve some problem they have, or they're looking for something, and that's what they're there for. So when they do come to your site, you want to make sure you commit to a goal when you have that site built. Whether it's to sell them something or get them to contact you, you want to make sure that's clear. You want to provide them value or a solution to some sort of problem that they might have, because like I said at the beginning, that's the reason they're there. And I want you to know the value of that lead for you. So when you do end up getting that lead to work with you, how much would you be willing to pay for that lead? So it could be $20, it could be $200, whatever the amount is, you need to know that value. And of course, as every business, make sure you get 5 out of 5 stars for your customer service, because that's how they keep coming back, that's how you get referrals and so on. So let's get started with the first topic that's important, traffic. So how do we get traffic? Does anyone actually, maybe I should rewind one step, does anyone know how do we get traffic? Advertisement? What kind of form of advertisement?
Just like Google advertisement, so if they Google personal trainer or whatever, you actually come up somewhere in the top.
Sure, so like search engine ranking?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, anyone else?
Maybe social media or hashtags.
Hashtag, that's a great one, yeah. Anything else?
Email.
Email, yeah, good.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, for sure, yeah. All right, so you covered most of it. SEO maintenance, so that could be through content on your website. It could be backlinks, which we'll touch more on, but essentially it's people linking back to your site. It can be the structure itself that's improving ranking. Social media, one of you guys said as well, that can be through free engagement with hashtags, that could be paid ads, and also the reason we do that is to get a large audience. Email marketing. So this is the best way to remind your customers and the leads who you are. So if they keep forgetting or they don't even interact with you, email marketing is a kind of a passive way to remind them, hey, I'm still around, here's what we offer. Giveaways, if you have some sort of incentive for them to want to work with you again, whether it's a discount, whether it's maybe a product you want to give them for free in exchange for maybe them listening to you again, that could be a way to capture them again. And of course, constant testing, refinement, seeing what works, what doesn't until you get it right. Whatever works for one business might not be the same for the other. So which one do you actually choose? Do you go with SEO, which is search engine optimization, or do you go with paid ads? One is longer than the other. But let's cover the basic. What is SEO? SEO is actually search engine optimization to rank higher on Google. So whenever you type, like you said, personal trainer or plumber in Vancouver, whatever shows up at the top usually gets the most calls, right? Would you agree with that, right? Usually when I personally type in something in Google, I kind of skip the ads too. I go right towards the first option. Second, third page, we rarely get to. So the higher you rank, the more conversions you'll get. Why should you care about SEO? Well, aside from the obvious, I mean, people search for it and you get a lot of conversion, but 64% of us are going on search engines before we make any decision, right? So if we want to go to a restaurant, we want to find a service, we usually type it in Google first, see what we think about it, and then we make a decision. 46% of the retailers use apps. So we'll go on a retailer's app and we'll figure out if we like the service or not. The competitors are using it. 30% of our competitors are using Google ranking as their advantage. So you want to be part of that 30% as well. And 26% use another type of site or app reviews to generate those reviews. So that's another good way for you to see the reviews. And then 26% of the people or competitors using that already. Now, I need you to understand that SEO long term is not an expense, it's an investment for your company. A lot of clients that I get calling me, they look at it as like, oh, it's a lot of money and it's a long term and you might not even see results right away. It could take anywhere from 3 months to 6 months sometimes. Really depends on search volume, depending on the competitiveness. So that means that a lot of companies, they look at it, okay, it's a lot of money, it's an expense for us, but instead you gotta look at the return on investment. The main other reason is your competitors are doing it. If you are going to be falling behind and your competitors are already doing this every other month, then they're on top, they're getting all the business. You want to increase your business presence. So as you can see there, it says 87% of the consumers use the web to find business prior to making a purchase. So that means that before anyone, like we said at the beginning, before anyone makes a decision, they first go on Google. So that's 87%, that's a huge number. Now, back to paid ads. Why should you do paid ads instead of SEO in this case? It's quicker results, so turnaround is much faster. SEO is a long-term, paid ads is right now. It's easier to retarget. So for example, Facebook, they use a method to retarget you. So when you type in something in Google, for example, realtor in Vancouver, all of a sudden don't be surprised to see ads that show realtors. Have you ever experienced that? You went to Best Buy and all of a sudden you see Best Buy ads?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you have a question? Oh, I saw your hand. So that's called retargeting. So essentially, anytime you see an app popping up and you just looked at it before, you just know that they're watching it that way.
Are they doing that with phone numbers now too in your phone?
They do with phone. There's a theory about it. They said that they're looking at WhatsApp and the messages, and that's when Mark Zuckerberg was sitting in front of the governments and explaining himself.
Yeah, because I've had like patients that are friending me and they
Yeah.
shouldn't even be able to be found, and I'm like, wow, how is this? Because I'm like, they've only ever called them, so
Yeah.
I'm like, how are they even? And I think it's saying suggested friend, and I'm like, how? I don't know how else they would have
The
connected.
suggested friend could be from your contacts, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you have them as a contact?
I usually don't save their numbers.
Okay. Good question. I can answer that.
Okay,
You have to ask Mark Zuckerberg for that one.
I can speak a little bit to that. Just reading on the whole Mark Zuckerberg and things like that is a lot of the apps that you usually have to accept some terms before it goes on your phone.
Yes. Which we never read.
Those terms are sometimes ridiculous. Like it's accessing your contacts, it's accessing who you've called, when you've called them, how long you've called them, and it will dial in priority on how it relates to that app, but it can also share that information with other apps. Like it's really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really nuts.
Yeah.
And since the whole Facebook scare, people are getting, if you notice, there's a lot more, oh, please, here's our new privacy policies, can you agree
Yes.
to this, blah, blah, blah. So that's because, like Facebook, the stock anyways, took a huge hit after. It's recovering, but
Yeah.
not as well as people wanted, and that's part of the reason why other companies are trying
Yeah, I've
to
gotten a ton of those in the last week.
Me too. I was gonna say I got like 10 or 20 emails
Yeah.
about privacy changes from
That's
different
right.
companies.
Well, because just with the app that we built, we had to have now because we didn't have the privacy thing in there, and if you don't have one, you can't even have your app on the store.
There you go.
That's right.
So,
And it's not law that are changing that fact. It's they're trying to prevent shareholder value.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
That's what
Yeah.
they're doing.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
The other reason you want to do paid ads is because it's more personalized. You actually, on Facebook, you can target people specifically that want exactly that thing that you have to offer. So you can choose age groups, you can choose genders, you can choose interests. It's very personalized to what they need. Now start owning the traffic, build an email list. I'm going to touch base a little bit on that a little bit more down in the presentation, but owning the traffic, like by building an email list, having an email list that you can email once in a while, through the paid ads, it will really help to increase the conversion as well. Website structure. This is probably one of my favorite topics because that's what I specialize in a lot. But before we get into it, I want to see your website. Does anyone here have a website?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Want to do yours
Picking on
first?
me already. Do it.
All right, let's do it.
Go for it.
Here.
Okay. So don't be embarrassed at all if I say stuff that you don't like
Go
to hear.
for it. I've been preparing for the last 3 hours.
Good. Okay. So first question to you is, before I even look into this, what platform is it built on?
Oh, WordPress.
WordPress. Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. So the heart is your branding. The heart on the top is your branding.
Yes.
Okay. I'll start by picking that apart first, and then we'll move on to everything else. So the branding, so the heart, I can see what you're trying to get at, but yellow, orange, like the mix you picked there, the gradient look is a little bit on the old school side. Nowadays we go for bold things popping at your face, right? The yellow, I'll just tell you color association real quick. Yellow usually, if you think about McDonald's, no frills. If you think about all the discounts, that's usually associating with cheap, right? I don't think you want to have that image. Orange usually means calm and like more on the, also towards the cheaper side, but more on the calm side. Like this is more calming, natural, so on. So in a way you could use orange, but yellow I'll personally try to get away from. Maybe instead pick a blue because it has a trust association. Maybe even a green because it has like a go. Sorry? Blue? Trust. It has blue. If you notice that any motivational speaker that has a blue tie on, usually it's because they want to get trust. If you look at most of the presidents, like Barack Obama, he always wore blue.
And if you pick up our new branding card, you'll notice that there's a lot of blue on it.
Yeah.
That's exactly the reason why. Well, black was authoritative and blue is trust.
That's
and we
true.
wanted to be a trustful authority, so we went with blue and black.
Yeah. Red, for example, is powerful.
I literally didn't
Right?
even think these are for us as they were left here.
No.
Because I didn't say your name anywhere, so I was like, oh, okay, somebody's left this earlier.
I don't want to slow this down,
Sure.
but in my grand vision, I have 3 areas. One is fitness training and like kinesiology thing.
Yep.
One is balance and healthcare, like acupuncture, nutrition, like more like
Sure.
calming body
Okay.
portion of this. And then the third part is that's the nutrition, and then there's like a wellness piece, and then there's a fitness piece. So with my heart, I'm hoping to have the same logo,
Everything, yeah.
different colors, and you
Okay.
choose the color. So the wellness piece would be the green blue, this piece, and then that was where I'm going eventually, but
Yeah.
shoot it down if you want, please.
What I would say from a business perspective, and
Right away.
jump in if you want to correct me here, you're focusing on a lot of things,
Too many things. I
right?
know, that's my problem.
Like you want to get one done and then open
Then
another
add.
one, right?
Thank
When
you.
I first started doing websites, I started with just what I'm good at websites. And then I started noticing that a lot of people need branding. And I'm good at graphic design, so let's add the logo design, let's add the business card design. Next thing you know, I'm offering everything.
Okay.
Like from video animation to SEO to everything.
So start initially and say you specialize in that.
You
and
specialize
then
in fitness, right? That's your top priority, that's what you like to do,
Yeah.
and then everything else.
That's why I don't have a website, because I can't shoot. I've been told I have too many done.
So you would say definitely with the brand, definitely pick like a specialty and then.
Pick a specialty. Now, back to her question about I want to kind of cover all the fields, maybe in the future she wants to add them in, then I would say the heart, does that represent to you all those things right away? Is that the
From
question?
this Chinese medicine.
I have explanations for all of this.
No, sure.
I'm not trying to be difficult.
No, no.
But from Chinese medicine, the heart is your spirit, the heart's your passion, the heart's your
Sure.
go-to. And so initially, my slogan started: train your body, love your life. My next phase: nourish your body, love your life.
Fair enough.
Balance your body, love your life. They're all the heart and they're all the interconnectedness.
I will challenge you in a second. Like, is it a cliche?
It's like a long-term, it's
Is
all
that
year.
is that a cliche though? Like, is everyone else using this for fitness? Have you seen hearts, or for medicine, like for acupuncturists, have you seen hearts? I personally have, because I've designed those
Okay.
back when I first started logos.
Okay.
Yes. So
For acupuncture, for everything?
I had one for naturopath.
Okay.
We used the hands with the heart.
Oh, yes,
So
I've seen that.
So it's a cliche thing, and I've learned that mistake back from my past, so I know that not to do that now. But that's the one aspect that I'll focus on. Start with fitness first, and it doesn't even have to be a symbol that's really showing muscles or showing like happy person. It can be anything else. It's your brand. Like if you look at my logo, for example, the hand there, it doesn't really necessarily tell you graphic design, does it?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Now to the website itself. The branding of the logo is one thing, and then you have a totally different color scheme for the website, right? You have like, I see purple, blue, black, so totally different colors. So that's one thing you have to kind of focus on, keep the colors similar, have a theme. The first thing that I see on the website when I land on to is the big picture and the title, but what is that you want me to do? Right, what action do you want me to take? Do you want me just to look at the photo? Do you want me to scroll down? What do you want me to do? Now, most of us know nowadays to scroll down, there's more stuff, but always assume everyone is just a plain idiot,
Okay.
right? Make it as easy as you can for them, right? So at the very beginning area, this is your chance to show what offer you have, or maybe you want to want them to contact you, right? Whatever it is, I will put it right here.
Kind of like a call to action.
Call to action, that's right. I was gonna use that terminology later when you understand me, but good thing you brought it in. The menu, like I don't know if it's just the screen, but it's a little bit difficult to see it even. So the contrast thing, I know it's kind of white, maybe grayish from black. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, I can barely see it from here. So that's a big thing, and especially you don't have an age limit, right, for your fitness. So you don't want older people not to be able to join because they couldn't read. Overall format of the text, you have one font here, you have another font there, and if we scroll to the site, let's see the rest. Okay. So font consistency, you have different font sizes along titles. So you have one big title here, very tiny text here, different size here. So like all over the place. It's not horrible. It's like it's bearable for people that want to get fitness for sure. But what I would do in this area here, so you have a gallery. Okay, can I open this up larger?
Yeah, you just click the, yeah.
Oh, this is another thing I just noticed here. Is this the? Oops. No, not here.
It's the green guy.
Oh, I have a PC, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we get rid of this bar?
Yep.
Which? Oh no. What did I do?
Blue tab, I think, don't you?
What just happened?
There's a blue tab, or it says white tab.
See how my stocks are doing.
Yeah. I'll let you close that. I don't use Macs.
It's all good.
I know I should as a designer, but I just never switched.
Let me just close.
So notice right away, even on the screen we have right now, you're not using any on the right side. Your side is all to the left. So that might not have been obvious on your smaller screen because you didn't see that, but you have to consider bigger screens too. Now I would want to see how it looks on the mobile by adjusting the window after too. Can we drag it down all the way? No, can we actually drag it to a mobile size now?
Sure.
That would be an important part. And interesting fact from, I was just on a seminar at a Google event about a month and a half ago, and one of the most interesting things I took away from it was they said that we on average unlock on our phone 150 times a day. If you think about that, 150 times a day you go swipe, unlock your phone. That means that if your website is not mobile friendly, you're losing those people, right? Now I would like to see how it adjusts to your phone too. You can just adjust it.
I know I'm trying to.
Oh, it doesn't let you?
I think I know how to do that. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Just
So
drop
just drop it down.
Yeah.
Something like
Keep
that.
going a little more.
A little more?
That's about good. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is about phone size, I would say. And yeah, so I see the branding at the top. Can we scroll down a little?
Sure.
Good. So same, it adjusts, so it's good. It's mobile friendly. I can see that you did a good job on that. I think you focused on it a little bit, or maybe
I
it was,
didn't do too much, honestly. Just-
okay. Maybe it was just a theme you got from WordPress. You did it for you. That's fine.
I got some help from computer techies and
Sure.
it was very minimal.
The main thing that I would say right at the top, when I said at the beginning, is what do you want the person to do on your site, right?
Just to probably email me.
To email you, and right
I
now,
want some personal training.
yeah. So email you, contact you. I would also say this is your opportunity to show off your what kind of projects you worked on already. As far as maybe you've done programs before, maybe you had groups, you had some photos of yourself, but
It's
have.
all just me.
I know. Try to include some friends. Nobody knows. You can fake it till you make it. Nobody knows that those are your friends. When I first started my websites, nobody knew if I actually did a website for a client or was it just my personal free time to do this, right? So I faked it until I made it for the first year. Okay. Anyways, do you have any more questions?
I think maybe part of it too, what I was trying to display is
Sure.
just like my demeanor, my personality, because for me at this stage, and it's not the long-term plan, but that's basically what you're selling. You're selling your personality and your skill set.
Yeah. And you're doing a good job at it. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying try to capture them now, right? Like they come into your site, what makes them stay there aside from looking at a couple photos?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is there any interesting content they can read? Is there something that incentive for them to contact you for any reason? Because those photos they can look on Instagram,
Totally.
right? So use that as a leverage. Do you have a social media at this point?
Yeah, so when you go to gallery, that actually just links to my Instagram. But
Okay.
that's a bit of a
Gallery?
downfall too, because I put all pictures of my baby and then I try to do some fitness videos too.
Okay.
Yeah, you almost need to.
Yeah, you need to
Two,
separate it.
But I just don't care right now.
Right, maybe that's the Instagram.
She said
Oh,
click
okay.
on gallery. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So is this it here?
Yes. So it's a mix right now, which is
Right.
a bit of a downside, but
I mean, you're capturing some sort of an audience for sure. Maybe moms that want to do fitness,
maybe.
right? But it all depends on what niche you're going after, which is nothing wrong with that niche either, right? That could be your thing. Like moms that don't have time and want to do fitness, and this is your thing now. I actually think that's a really good idea. Okay? So I think the main takeaway from the whole spiel that I just gave you is the branding and convert them on your site by having some kind of form at the very beginning with an incentive. Like contact me now, 10% off, or whatever you want to put as an incentive. And have a form, easily make sure that they can put their email in. If they want to, they can add their name, last name, phone number, but those should not be mandatory. You want to get that email. And then you build that email list. We'll go through how to build an email list as well, but you want to ensure that you collect those emails and then later on routinely do a mail out once in a while just to keep them in the loop. Okay?
Yep.
You said you want the audience to email you?
I don't want them to email me, I want them to get the email. Right? I mean, they can email me for sure if they want to contact me. That's why we have a contact form. But at the top, I want to get their email right away.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? No? Next
Go
slide.
through another website? Or
Sure, yeah, for sure.
Who else has got a website they want
The
critique?
company that I manage is Provision Athletics.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
And I just have a question.
Go ahead.
With like social media.
Yeah.
How, like for example, this account, or do you
V.
Can't hear you.
OVIS. Yeah, for ERO, and then Vision, so VIS.
Vision.
Athletics.com. Oh, it's PRO, sorry, but that's athletic, yeah. So pro for pro, and then vision, and then athletics with an S. Yeah, there you go.
So right
Yeah,
here?
that's it.
What was your question?
Yes, I was gonna ask with, in regards to social media, we kind of came across this, like, how important do you think it is to separate the maybe a business account and like a personal account? Cause like.
How important?
Yeah, like in terms of like, the business side of things. Like,
I mean, it really depends on your business. For me personally, I have my website's business and I have my personal life. I don't really mix them. At the same time, I do once in a while do something on my personal, say if you need a website. So I kind of connect the two. It really depends on the business to answer that question. So for me, that's what I do. For her, she can mix her lifestyle and her baby in the photos to grow her business at the same time because she wants to show her personality, right? So she doesn't necessarily have to have two accounts.
I have two accounts, but then they all could come to the same email.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if I'm looking for something, I'll just click on that email for my business, so that I'm not looking through both. 'Cause
Yeah.
it can get super complicated.
Yeah, and you can set up an email that will just forward to your Gmail.
Yeah, I
Right.
have
Create accounts.
4 different emails that all go to one.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I can also reply from my Gmail account to all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can choose which email account
Yeah.
you reply from, and usually it'll populate the one that you got it sent to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just sometimes need to be careful because it can. They're like, what? It's a different email. you
Well,
sent
that's,
out."
sometimes I make the mistake of sending it from like a different, they're like, oh, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Anyway.
Is that just through selecting like different accounts on?
You just make different
Yeah.
accounts and then you go into Google. Like, Google it, you'll be able to figure it out. It's not,
Yeah,
it's not
really
overly
Oh, I didn't know, I
complicated.
just-
Creating emails is the easiest part of business. I'll
Yeah.
promise you that.
Yeah, you Google it, if I can figure it out, you can figure it out.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
Okay.
Same thing with Instagram. You can have all your accounts on one app. You don't have to have
okay.
Yeah, totally.
Just
Okay.
click down.
Yeah, that- Okay, I see.
Okay, so this site is nice. I like it.
We actually paid someone to do it, so we.
No,
So-
If it's nice, I'm gonna say it's nice. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like you have the lead capturing method right at the beginning. So this is what I was talking about, right? You land on and right away they're offering some sort of incentive. A little bit too much text in my opinion because nobody reads,
Yeah.
right? Like everyone is visual. I know that half of you guys, like you look at the button right away, you didn't even bother reading at the top,
Yeah.
right? Because that's the first visual thing.
I actually looked at the button too and I didn't even think about it.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same here.
Right? So like and that's the whole point of that button, the reason it's yellow and big like that.
Mhm.
Back to the yellow topic,
Yeah.
right? So do you
Yeah.
want that association?
Yeah, yeah,
Think
yeah.
about that. The photo, I mean, without even looking, I know your logo is about fitness and she's doing fitness, so that's a good thing. The logo is red. I see a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of other type of green. So try to kind of keep the branding colors the same.
Okay.
You have a logo in red and black, and then everything else does not reflect it,
Okay.
right?
And the colors threw me off.
Can we scroll down a little bit?
Sure.
I like that. Is this supposed to be like that, or just because the screen is squished?
I think that's pretty close. I don't know,
Okay.
maybe pull the screen apart.
Okay, so more visuals. That's what I would say.
More visuals?
Right? Nobody reads stuff. Like I see, all I saw from this blob of text is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Right? I want to see more icons, more visuals, because our minds, when we see a visual icon, like of someone lifting something out,
Yeah.
right away I jump to that section because I know what it's about.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Hold on, I missed the whole top.
Sure.
Okay, so we have that. That's good. I feel like something is missing here.
I feel like there is something there too, but.
It's probably a video of some sort.
Oh, it is a video, actually, you're right. That's
Okay.
what I checked. I've been on the website enough, I should know. But.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
There's a
There you go.
picture.
Okay, good. I like that. Scroll down. Good. So here, I believe this, without even reading it, this would be the area you kind of put the offer all together, tie it in,
Okay.
right? Is that right?
Yeah.
So overall, not bad. A little bit cluttered with information,
Cluttered.
right? Keep it simple, right? Make it very clear to them what they want to do. So I would just keep those things.
Yeah.
And what is this thing? No longer an issue.
Yeah, I don't like the bottom paragraph.
Yeah, I don't understand what the point of that is. It's almost like a scary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't click, don't click.
Yeah.
I do not want to.
And this tells me like this doesn't scream to me this is good. This
Yeah.
screams to me something is bad,
Bad.
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I would change that red color because red is urgency,
Okay.
but in the wrong way,
Okay.
right? Like you messed up. Click
It's
here.
amazing how like now that you point out stuff, it's like almost gonna be easy to.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
different way of thinking about it.
Mhm.
yeah.
I agree. Do you mind if we just take a look at GTD Scientific?
For sure.
I don't know if any of you were familiar. Well, I don't know if you're.
Oh, teasing.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
No, it's good. It's great. I like this. And I don't know if you guys were familiar with our old website.
Or just to let you know, it's a really good design.
Really good.
I like it. Yeah.
You like the new one? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our new website.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
This is like my work.
Scroll down a
I
little.
have a Word.
Oh, yeah?
Opens is similar to this layout. I like the photos with the quick summaries.
It's clean. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of blue.
That was what we went for. Because the trust, black is authority and blue is trust. So we wanted to have a lot of black and blue.
Yeah, it has a nice flow to it. The only thing that I personally would add as a touch
Yeah.
is make it a little bit more alive. Right now everything is very static. Nothing moves on the page at all.
Oh, okay.
Even like a slider maybe at the beginning. Like every 5 seconds it'll flip. Right? Just to kind of give it a little bit of a live feeling. Because right now it's like a lot of information, a lot of things to look at, but nothing moves on the page.
I just feel like I don't even know what to put on a web page. I don't have enough content.
What is your business about?
I'm a dietitian, but focusing on diabetes, I think, is what I want to do.
Oh, there's so many photos you can look up. So you can go in stock photos and just type in
No, I just mean content, like what I,
content for diabetes.
or yeah, just like what I would want on there specifically. Like I just want to make it like perfect the first time rather than having to keep reading.
What I would do in your position is I'll go type in Google articles for diabetes, look up a bunch of topics, narrow down a few more topics, get kind of a list going, and then start being creative, making your own topics out of that. And next thing you know, just have to start writing, or making videos or creating content, right? But back to your site, it looks good. Just a little bit more alive. That's it. That's all I did to it.
Awesome.
I haven't checked the backend, of course, to tell you much more, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Right. So all right, we looked at your website. Anyone else wants to show their website? No?
I think that was it that had it.
Would you guys like to see my company's website?
Sure, absolutely.
So after talking all this, I better have a good website, right? Okay, so what is the first thing you guys notice when you land on the site?
Request a quote.
Right? So you know, request a quote, you're on a website's page, you came there already for a reason, you probably need a website. So my first goal is to get your contact information, right? So if we click request a quote, why am I clicking this wrong? It takes you to the right spot. You don't have to scroll, you don't have to wait for the page to load, it takes you right there. And in here, as you notice, I'm asking for all the important information that I would need to help you as a business. What else do we have here? So as we scroll down, the first thing I have here is a professional video that I've created talking about what the services I offer. And specifically in this case, we're focusing on websites. And then at the end of the video, I'm asking you to leave your email right below because I'm gonna have an incentive for you of some sort. And if you leave your email, you're gonna get privileged to get that information that we have to offer. Now, by me getting this email from you, we'll tie it back into the email listing later, but that's actually how I collect a lot of my leads, okay? As you can see right at the beginning, I talk a little bit blurb. I know nobody's gonna read it, but it's good for search engines. The few people that will read it, it'll help them understand our company. And then right away, we show some credibility, some authority of some sort with who we partner with, how many reviews we have, and in general that we have good reports and so on. Then right away after that, we show our services. So what do we offer? And when you click on any of them, what I've tried to do on those pages, I clicked it wrong again. I right click on this computer.
Usually it's two.
Two fingers.
Okay.
Fingers click.
That's why, okay. So what I've actually attempted to do on the site is every page you land on almost looks like its own website. It still has the same theme, still has the same look and feel as the first page, but when you land on this page, it actually gives you the homepage feel again. Same website, same video at the side, and then the whole process we have again. And the reason I did that is because if I wanted to send a specific link to a specific service, that person that gets that link will think, okay, well, this is what they specialize in. So if people think that I'm only good at websites and I send them a logo link, they'll be like, oh, he's really good at logos. Does that make sense? Do you guys want to see anything else on the site before we move on?
What does he show us? Whatever you want to show off.
I'll show off some. Why did I click on my finger?
One.
I'm using one finger. This is weird.
It's like highlighting the letter though.
I don't understand why.
There you go.
There.
There you go. I'll show you some of the layouts that we have for past projects. 2 fingers now, there you go. So those very visual just to show our projects from the past. And the reason we condense it like that, load more here, that's more technical stuff, but you don't want to overload your page with a bunch of projects because you want your page to load. The slower the page loads, the more Google hates it, right? And the more obviously consumers hate it. On average, we wait 4 or 5 seconds for the page to load before we switch off. And you don't want to lose them because they didn't want to wait. Okay, I think I'll be enough for showing off my website. Let's go back.
So do you have like price quotes on there, or do they have
I don't, and I'll tell you why. I don't want a person to look at my prices and be like, that's too expensive, I'm going to call someone else. I want them to call me because I know I'll do a way better job at talking to them on the phone, at giving them the value, and then they'll potentially go ahead with the business. Does that make sense? Yeah?
I was curious, could we take a look at another website?
Mm-hmm. We'll do last one?
Yeah, that's okay.
Sure.
This was gonna be useful. Thanks.
No problem.
Yeah, innovative fitness.
Innovativeness.
There it is.
Okay, is that your site?
Well, not mine, but where, yeah, where.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
Just
so
curious what you think about it.
now I'm curious from me teaching you so far, what do you guys see right away?
Yellow.
Yellow.
That's the first thing. Now, just to keep in mind, yellow does not mean necessarily bad right away, right? It's just what kind of association you want to go for. Some companies can pull it off. This yellow is actually very vibrant, so you could pull it off here. It doesn't look like it's cheap right away. It works for some, doesn't work for others. You have to play with it. Let's see here. So, the logo is my first thing. I mean, it's not a bad logo, but it's on the old school side. I don't know how long they've been established for. But I don't know if they want to change the branding at all. But the whole effect of the thing coming out and then the gradient look, the white to black, is old school, right? Like we talked about, everything is bold, standing out. If you notice, actually, all the text on the slider here, right over here, it's all one color and it's all popping. Whereas the logo has a different look to it. You guys notice that? Now let's see if I just click on anything here. No. This is very sensitive, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So good use of icons. Text is good. Well laid out. I like it. Yeah, good photos. There's not much I can critique here for now. This is a little bit long. I will cut that out a little bit. Current openings. So there's no reason for this section to be so spread out,
Right.
in my opinion. So I'll just make it like a smaller lines essentially. Let's go back to the home page. What's on there? So what is the goal of the website?
Well, selling, yeah, personal training service.
Okay. So you have your services laid out, some information. Good, I like it. Contact form. Little bugs here and there, like the different styling, right? That's it, easy stuff. Yeah. Overall, it's a good site.
Just like an inner fit.
On which, sorry?
Just my,
Oh, is that another site?
yeah.
It's useful. It's useful.
I don't even,
Just
I've never
different
actually done it, I
examples.
don't think, to the site.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very-
I mean, if the site is good, I'll tell you it's good, right?
Spotted any of that.
Oh, I know the
Yeah.
lady who owns Interfit.
Yeah.
Interfit, you said?
A friend of my.
Is that Interfit or Interfit
Yeah,
Studios?
InterfitStudios.com. I really like her branding, but I've never been to her website, so I'm just curious.
Right away, what I notice is that there's some issues with screen sizes. Like if you notice, the menu doesn't fit between the logo and the search bar. So either the menu is too long, which in my opinion it is, or some styling issues in general. So it's a little bit weird, in my opinion, to have the button that's the main call to action on right next to the logo,
Okay.
because in a way it will blend in, right? Because you're kind of looking at it as one thing, and you don't want to associate your brand right away giving a discount right under it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have your brand as the nice, like the best part of it. Have the button on the other side, because that's kind of naturally we're balancing the page a little bit. Back again to the yellow. I don't know why everyone uses yellow.
Contrast.
They did use blue though. They listened to me. I like the photo. This is great. Shows who she is and what she does. This is good. A quote.
That's not even her, though.
No, it's not her.
Oh, it's not even her.
Like, that's not her at all.
I think that's one of her clients.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
big thing that only I would notice is the fact that this is a whole big picture, right? And what that means for search engines, she's not getting ranked at all for this. Like all this block of text is not even seen by Google, right? And in this case, like she has all this useful text there that has different keywords, but it's useless, right?
Well, because it's a picture.
It's a picture. Google can't read the picture. He sees there's a picture, but it can't read the text. I like what's going on here. Is this all pictures? Can I not highlight this at all?
It's just one picture from up
Oh, okay, yeah. I hope this is not a picture. Okay, good. Yeah, this is good. Looks like she's showing her services. Okay. Testimonials, or it looks like it is. Yeah, like I would make the area a little bit more clear what it is, right? Like, is this testimonials or is this something I have to read?
You're right.
Because personally, I wouldn't necessarily read testimonials right away. This will be the last step of my research if I want to take the business. Photos, like you can see for yourself, it's misaligned, so stuff like that. Although they're very small and subtle, we notice quality, and we're very picky, right? So if you went on my website and you saw misalignment, you probably not take my services, right?
That's true.
Right, but if you see a misalignment here, you kind of see how the person is now. You see how the brand is, right? You won't buy an Apple computer if you saw misalignments on the websites, right? Like it would be weird. So it's just association you give across. But overall, I mean, it's good. Let me see how the mobile looks, if I can make it work.
I think she has an app because I have. Yeah,
Having an app is great. It's definitely a good thing. But your website, when you show me the website, the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go on my phone. I don't know if she has an app yet, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so this looks like it's the mobile version, roughly.
Oh, yeah.
So I think you guys know right away what's the issue.
Yeah.
Well, the issue is with the photo, it adjusted to the screen size, so now we can't even read it. I don't know what this block of blue is.
That's where the top was, all the things you can click. There's
Maybe.
some there.
Well, no, that's the menu here.
Oh, that's there. Oh, sorry.
Which now is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I will get overwhelmed seeing a menu like this. Like, what do I click on? What do I go first? Is everything important? Do I have to read it all? Like, you know, focus on things. But the rest is all laid out, so that's a good thing. It fits. I would say,
Testimonials is a lot.
what? Yes, that. But I would say, if you go on a mobile site, you want to see things. Has to be bigger. The text, I think, got smaller, or maybe the same. Oh, what happened? What's going on?
Once you go back, you don't go back.
Yes. So as you can see, the text is very tiny. I don't know about you guys, but on the phone, it's even gonna look smaller. And weird spaces, I mean, I can continue all day probably, but like those kind of things should not happen, right? Like, why is there space here? I'm scrolling, is it the end? Oh no, there's more, right? Good, she has that. What I like to do for mobile, now we scroll all the way to the bottom, I would include anything important that I want to capture the customer again. So if it's an offer, if it's my contact form, if it's the menu links that I want them to go to, I'll have it at the bottom as well, because they're already at the bottom. I don't want them to scroll all the way back up. And I know there's a button here, but chances are people are not gonna click it. Or they're gonna scroll anyways, right? Okay. All right, let's move on.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
No problem.
That was really useful.
Okay. So website structure, now that you guys know quite a bit of information about it, we'll kind of tie it all together. What I think a good website structure is having a logo at the top left as the standard, that's where our eyes used to. Have our menu at the top right. Social media, if you have the social media, I don't see why you don't if you have a business, but it will be above the menu or on the side of it, whichever fits better. Usually it'll follow with a nice big image of a slider of some sort that would, I hope, will flip every 5 seconds. Maybe 3 sliders top, you don't want to overdo it. Next. Oh, so clean and simple. Make it very simple, like the less text you can, yet considering this is a note you might want to take down. Google looks at 1,000 to 1,500 words to be on the page when you first land on it. So the way Google goes through the pages, where's the laser? No, you can see it?
Mm-hmm.
You can?
See it,
Okay.
yeah.
Google goes from the top and starts scrolling down a zigzag motion all the way bottom through your code in the back. And it looks at all the text that you have on there, right? So you do want to have text, yet you want to consider who is coming to your site. You don't want to just satisfy Google, you want to satisfy your customer. So be really strategic as to how you're putting those 1,000 words on the site. Does that make sense?
So the code is reading the code which is included in the 1,000 text?
No,
or
the
just
code is not,
text?
the text that you see on the front.
Okay.
Sorry if I confused it. The code is, like Google goes to the code at the back,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't go to your pictures.
Right.
So all the text that you have written, whether it's on WordPress, Wix, whichever site you use, whatever you see on the front, if you highlight it all, copy paste it into a Word document, you'll see the word count without all the images and so on. You'll kind of have a rough idea where you're at. So make sure it's around 1,000 to 1,500. Okay? Click to action, we brought that up earlier. So click to action, when they land on your site, what do you want them to do? In this example, view more, that will be the button, right? We want them to click on view more. Right now, even without any colors, the view more is kind of like in the center of your attention, right? We will add some colors for sure. So we'll have maybe some sort of blue or red or whatever color you pick. But now if you look at the page, if you squint, you'll see the blue out of everything else. Of course, the services follow, or who you are, what you do, that's what will follow next, because when somebody lands on your site, they want to see who you are about, so they look at the first visuals, within 5 seconds they know who you are and what you do, and now they want to read about you. Always collect emails, we've brought it up before, I'll get more deep into that in the next couple slides, but on your website, for most businesses, there's no reason why you shouldn't collect emails. I don't know what niche you can be in that you don't need email lists. Whether you're a lawyer, a doctor, you always would like to have more appointments, more clients, and so on. And mobile view. So I told you the statistics earlier. It's huge, it's important. So make sure that the site adjusts to the mobile phone, logo goes in the middle. We have our menu condensed into the touchscreen button. We have our social media still visible on the other side of it because we want to direct people to our social media. Slider goes under, still relatively the same size, so it's big and visual, still flipping every 5 seconds, same idea. And the big button again, right? Make sure it's nice and big and clickable because that's how we get them again, right? And the same idea, back to the content.
So
Now,
WordPress, that's kind of the one a lot of people use, right? To build websites?
we build a lot of websites on WordPress because for people that don't know how to code, we give them an admin panel, they log into the back, they click edit on a page, they click save, and that's done. No coding required. There is learning curve for it for sure. There are some parts that you want to edit and you can't figure it out, but for the most part it's easier. There are even easier sites like Wix, Squarespace, which I personally never do for my clients because I find it very unprofessional, but people do them because it's drag and drop, it's easy, you don't really need to think too much. Now, we mainly do WordPress and custom code. Now, I can tell you,
Charge more or less based on what the person wants.
depends on the requirements, every customer is different. If it's a super simple site, a lot of the time we can reuse code, but at the same time we'll tweak it for their needs. I'll tell you the difference between custom code and WordPress really quickly, and actually Wix and so on. So WordPress, Wix, they all use plugins to make it easy for you to drag drop stuff, right? That means that all those scripts are loading with your site every time you go on it. So we need to look at what's good and what's bad here. When the good thing is it's easy for you to use. The bad thing is it loads slower. Whereas a custom coded site, you only use what you need, you only code what you need, and that's going to load a lot faster, right? No extra drag and drop coding. Does that make sense? Cool. Let's get to the next topic, which I've been promising, email marketing. Create a MailChimp account. Free to create unless you send more than 1,000 emails per month, I believe it is. So do that, collect the emails like we said. Send structured newsletters. You have to make sure that you have a plan in place. Don't just send emails for the sake of doing it. Be consistent. So if you do it every day, if you do it every week, every month, make sure you stick to that plan. Just like if you like to see a show every Monday, you'll be kind of disappointed if you didn't see it every Monday because they change it up. View the stats. Make sure you know what's going on every time you send the email because you actually want to improve on. I'll give you a quick example of a campaign that I send to my clients. So what I like to do is, of course, have my branding at the top, have my social media and what we offer. And right away I try to make it personal. Here's me, right? Here's quick little private message because I have Dear John, and then I talk about what I want to show John, right? So this will be really personal. It's a quick attention grabber about what the topic is about. Then as you scroll down, you see what we have to offer in this case. So I had a video that I wanted to watch, and I had more articles going on next, so I wanted to look at. Now, in this case, I'm providing them value. Notice that I'm not saying, hey, we have a discount, or hey, buy this product, or get this new website. We're just showing them value, right? We're not even offering anything yet. Include links. You want to make sure that everything on here, the reason we want links is because they're trackable. You can see who clicked on a link in your email, and that can give you valuable data. If you have 100 customers in your email list, and you see one customer open the email 10 times and clicked on the link 20 times, what does it tell you? They're probably really interested, right? As we scroll down, you want to make sure that you have the promo that you want to offer. So in this case, I want you to watch the SEO marketing material we have. So I want you to click on that and contact me after that from those videos. Now, at the very bottom, that's where you make it super easy for them to contact you. Most of us already know that the bottom is where your contact information is at, other than a contact page on their website. So make sure you make it easy for them. Sorry? Or unsubscribe, yes. Yes, you can click unsubscribe. Yeah, go ahead.
So I have a question if you don't mind. So what's the difference between like providing value and selling? Do you mind clarifying that?
Providing value is, I'm going to give you something, and I don't expect you to do anything. Right? I don't expect you to buy. I don't expect you to call me, nothing. Just here's information for free.
Oh.
Selling is when I tell you, hey, here's a product, here's 20% off, I want you to buy it. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
Campaign stats. So for this campaign I sent out, it was really early, like when I did it, I just quickly wanted to capture the stats. We had 79 people opened it, 4 people clicked, 6 emails bounced because they didn't reach the other side, and 4 unsubscribed. Totally fine. If people unsubscribe, that's actually good because I don't want to send them emails if they don't want to see them. And I can only send 1,000 emails per month, that's great. I can see from the stats here that around 3 p.m. that was the peak time. Now every business is going to be different. In my niche, I guess 3 p.m. that's where everyone wants to look at websites and want to read my email. You want to keep in mind that lunchtime there is traffic between 4 and 5, so you want to make sure that you don't send emails during that time. Usually people are on their phone during dinner at the table. They'll scroll through emails. I don't know about you, that I do it all the time. Morning when they wake up before they go to work, or maybe when they first get to work. But you have to test out what works best for your business. So, is this everything clear on email marketing? Okay, social media marketing. So we all know Facebook, Instagram, Twitter for sure. We're gonna talk about paid ads. We already talked about it a little bit. Engage, update, stay current. Of course, if you have a business, if you have social media, this is the way to do it nowadays. Large audience, always engage with them, get them to share, like, have incentives for them to do it. There's no better advertisement than somebody tagging their friend in to your post, because that's free, right? It spreads out like a big web, and it's all free for you. The paid ads, of course, if you want to do it the faster route, you want to start paying some money. It can get pricey depending on your niche, but quicker results if you do it right. Analyzing stats. So track your website. I have a couple of tools for you if you do decide to use them. Google Analytics, everyone knows about that one. There is one for live website recording. That's a personal one that I use. It's called SmartSat. What it does actually is it does provide you a chat on the side. I'm sure you've seen those when you go on the site and there's a chat service, like a robot that will answer questions. It is something you can answer yourself as well. But what I like about this tool too is it actually provides a full screen recording in the back. So a little bit creepy, but you can actually notice when the user what exactly they did with the mouse the whole time. And that can give you crazy data, crazy insight as to what you want to change and how you want to fix stuff. So for example, if they clicked on a specific link and left, you know that that wasn't a good enough link for you to get them to. Questions?
How effective is social media these days? Like the strategy we've taken is that
I think there's an expectation to be on social media.
For sure.
And so if they're there, if they're on Facebook and they happen to think of us, that they would expect there to be a page. But the idea that we take is that, we have those pages, but they're super low maintenance. We don't post a lot of stuff, but it has all the information to drive back to the website. And then the website generates the grabs. At least that's been our strategy. And I'm wondering how, what is the typical strategy for social media? Because I know like my buddy right now, he owns Fit in 30 Minutes.
Yeah.
And he's got this huge social media thing going on. He's got videographers in the gym. He does testimonials on Facebook Live. He interviews his trainers. They got professional photographs. I see all this stuff coming through my Facebook feed, but I don't see any, like there's maybe 10 likes.
You know what I like about what you said though is every time you see this in the Facebook feed, you keep thinking about him.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about it, so he's doing something right.
Right.
Like, because even if you got 10 likes, his name is always in your head.
Right.
Right. So his brand. If you think about fitness, you think about his brand.
Right.
And that's what he's trying to do.
Okay.
Whether it works as far as likes or not, that's just a bonus. If it spreads out and social media gets the word out more, that's great.
Sure.
But at least his immediate people that follow it, they keep thinking about it.
Are there tools to like you mentioned Google Analytics and the
Smart Stuff.
websites? Yeah, what's up? Are there any tools to keep track of social media conversions?
You can actually track on the social media platform itself. I do have a full-on presentation on Instagram, for example, but on your Instagram, if you have the business account, you have full insights of how many users joined, what are they doing, what content piece had the most views. For Facebook, it's the same thing with the business page. You can see all the insights as well.
Yeah, I've seen the Facebook one.
Yeah, you can see how many impressions, male, female relation, and all that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Let's take a quick break before our next presenter.